Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and in today's episode, I'm going to cover the kind of a controversial topic, and that is why some anime fans, are giving anime a bad name. Okay, and this is a sort of a topic that sort of ran across, and I'm going to do more episodes about them. Basically, where I run across something that you know it only seems to have part of the story and maybe something's missing and that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna basically go through and sort of fill in the gaps basically with my experience and with my knowledge from the past, and sort of apply it to something in the present. Okay, and and so this is one of the episodes I'm gonna just sort of experiment on that again. If you like to check out my other content, pertaining to more classics and animes and that kind of stuff, don't forget to go down below, click like, and click subscribe, and then you'll see different things like that. Okay. So the topic today is, like I said, you know, there's been a lot of hate and negative things towards anime and anime fans in general, and you know they treat this as something that's new. Okay, and it has never been new. It's always been this way. And what I mean is that, in the early days, okay, with anime, when it was still a new and emerging genre, okay, um, to be called an anime fan was not a an endearing term, okay. To be referred to as an anime fan, they had names and stuff for fans of fandom, like of niche fandoms. Okay, for example, anime fans were called otakus, and Star Trek fans were called Trekkies. Okay, and by no means are those good names. Okay, because they're always thought of as for example, otakus, right? They're thought of, for example, if you look at the video otaku video, they're thought of as, yeah, those are guys who are, those are like guys mostly, who like live in the basements of their mom's house or whatever, and they they sit there and they watch like hentai all day because again most of the animes at that time were has the three G's: girls, guns, and gore. So the anime was marketed towards males, okay, and they usually have a lot of they use I said sex to sell them. They use the gore and the gun content and the that to sell the action and the the story was very weak in that case, but that's okay because you just need slapstick action to keep the story and to keep the interest going, right? So at that sort of case, anime, from the outer world, okay, the regular world, is thought of as, oh, those weirdos, those otakus, okay, there are, that makes, being an anime fan, kind of an undesirable thing, right? If you're an anime fan, you're undesirable. You're one of these people, okay? You get stereotyped into being that, okay? Now, of course, anime now has exploded. It's now become a more accepted genre. It's now to a point where it's, oh, if you don't know about anime, then you're the weirdo, okay? Now, again, it doesn't mean that you can't not like anime. Maybe anime's not your thing. You maybe didn't grow up with anime. That's fine. I mean, we're not talking about that. But what what I want to concentrate on this video is that, well, why do some anime fans make anime look so bad? Like, why, now that we got so many people who like at least know about anime, then what's so bad about being an anime fan? Like, why do people hate anime fans? And this has to do with what anime fans do. Okay, now I'm going to use a couple of examples and that kind of stuff. So, now that anime is more freely available and people can do different things to with anime, it's now switched from just simply watching anime and enjoying the anime as for what it is, and then basically once it's finished, then you go on and you continue with your normal life, doing whatever job you do, and whatever other other customary lifestyle things that you normally do. Okay, But now the fandom has grown in such a way that and the the me generation, the look at me generation, has now taken it upon itself to bring the anime into more modern day, more modern stream. Okay, now let's just say an example. Let's use another example. Okay, what would happen if this happened in other genres? Okay, so for example, let's say Star Wars. For example, you'd watch Star Wars, you go to the movie, you watch it, you come out of the movie theater, and you're happy. You were entertained. Your emotions were played on. You might like the story. And you then go on with your day, and you can enjoy the rest of your life like normally, right? But if you take the obsession to the next level, and you decide to for example cosplay as a stormtrooper, okay, sure, there's a time and place for that, and whatnot. But if you start doing it during normal days and that kind of stuff, and other people find this kind of strange and weird, then that's sort of what happens, right? So normal people kind of go, well, there's a guy dressed up as a stormtrooper riding the sky train, what's that weirdo? It's like is the they'll I think, well, is the Star Wars convention this this week, or is it Halloween early, or what the hell is there, like a is there an anime convention happening this week or something, like it's not common, right? And so much to so that what happens is that if you cosplay, or if you dress up as like, say, a Naruto character, and you start making videos on TikTok of you doing things, you become an ambassador, a representative of anime fans. You may not want to be one, okay? You want to be yourself. It's me, look at me, I'm going to make videos, and I want to get clicks, and I want to get whatever, right? But in that responsibility, or in that, action of you dressing up as whatever character you want to be, you take on the responsibility of being an anime fan, or as being labeled as an anime fan. And as a result, what your actions do affect not just yourself, but all anime fans. Okay? So when you cosplay, and when you make those stupid videos on TikTok, and you make a jackass out of yourself, you're not just doing that to yourself. You're doing that to all anime fans, and that disservice to all anime fans. Okay, may sound radical, but let me just put this into perspective. Okay, this was best the analogy was given to me by Josh Innes, who is a radio DJ that once worked at the WIP in Philadelphia. He comes up with this this story, or this analogy. So the analogy that Josh Innes gave me was basically based on the Santa Claus incident in Philadelphia. Okay, so again, Philly sports fans have not been getting some good press in the multiple years because of all the various different sort of meathead kind of incidents that have happened. Okay, and one example that was used and given was the throwing the snowball at Santa Claus incident. Okay, so again, this spawned from a Philadelphia ball game, where they decided during the break time, since close to Christmas, we'll bring out Santa Claus, and sort of for the halftime mid show, right? And of course, some meathead, some random fan, okay, took a snowball and threw it at Santa Claus. Okay, so the headlines became, Philadelphia fan throws snowball at Santa Claus. And of course, the immediate reaction of everybody would be that's outside of Philadelphia would look at that and say, what a bunch of meatheads that are in Philadelphia. Those Philadelphia fans are like stupid, or meatheads, or Nathanderals, right? Because who would throw a snowball at Santa Claus? Man, come on. What kind of person does that? Oh yeah, the people that start fights in the parking lot, or those people that during the during the parties before and after the ball games. Ah, yeah, they start fights in bars and they beat each other up, and yeah, i.e., all these tropes like the Bronx bullies and these sort of all these stories sort of come to true that these Philly fans are really degenerates, okay? And of course, that's the perception that everyone outside of Philadelphia, and especially all the rival, cities like let's say for example the Dallas and that kind of stuff, where the Dallas Cowboys always meet up with the Philadelphia Eagles all the time. They're always going, yeah, those Philadelphia guys are all meatheads, they're all stupid, and whatever. And again, if you're in Philadelphia, you're probably saying, no, we're not like that. We're not. That was some random fan. He probably wasn't even like from Philly. He was just some outside life thing. And he just kind of was goofing around, or he was stoned or drugged or whatever, and he just decided to do something stupid. But the thing is that one stupid action reflects on all of the Philadelphia fans. Okay, just because that one guy did that, everybody now thinks that all Philadelphia fans are that stupid that would pick up a snowball and throw it at Santa Claus. Okay, and that's not what is true, but that's what the perception is, and it makes that look really really bad. Okay, I'll give you another example. Okay, some people like to cosplay and whatnot, and that's fine. There's conventions that allow you to do that. There's Halloween, of course, is always a good time, and whatnot. But I mean, if you're the type of person that likes like to cosplay, on a normal day, you kind of going to the SkyTrain. I'm looking, want to wear the a stormtrooper outfit, on the way to work on a typical day. You look on the SkyTrain and going, what the hell is that weirdo with the stormtrooper outfit on? It's like, is there a convention going on? Is it like Halloween early, or everyone else kind of looks at you going, whatever. I'm sure, you're, if that's your thing, okay, great, if that's you, then sure, I guess, you can do that. But realize, if the police come over and haul you down, and the people see pictures of that, and then of course, the picture is, and the headlines become, stormtrooper gets taken down by the police. Okay, they're not interested in knowing that what your story is, or why you were doing that, and that kind of stuff, and whatnot, and what day of the month it was that this happened. Okay, that's because that's very important. Because it just happened to be May 4th. Right? But that's not what people see, right? People on the outside who are not Star Wars fans and that kind of stuff will see police takes down Stormtrooper, and then they're like, "Yeah, there goes another one of those weirdos." They must have done something really bad, and here they are. The police are hauling her away. Yep, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, stupid Star Wars guys. So again, just because you are doing something, which is you, because I said, like, everyone's now in this me generation. Like, look at me, I'm making videos, and I'm this, whatever, and this is my cosplay. Look how carefully I made it, and how much time I made, and all this blah 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 blah. Okay, that's great. Okay, but just you realize that because you are in an anime costume, because you're in a Star Wars costume, because you're a Star Trek uniform or whatever, you now become a representative of that genre or that thing. Okay, whether you want to or not, whether it's not like you legally sign a paper and saying that no, and saying that what I do is my thing or whatever. No. When you put that uniform on, when you put that costume on, you now become a representative of anime fans. Okay, and what you do Okay, I don't know whether it's dress up like a slutty Cammy or Chung Li, or whether you do some weird things using as maids on my OnlyFans, or whether you dress up as Naruto and you try to swing between trees, making using jackass like videos on TikTok or whatever, or you dress up as Dragon Ball characters and do crazy reaction videos or whatever. All those things, as much as you like to say they are me, these are my creations, these are that. No, everything that has to do when you're an anime, when you dress up or when you comment or represent anime in this fashion, okay, you represent the anime community. As part of your responsibility, you are a representative, you are an ambassador to the anime community when you do that. Because if you do something shitty and you do something bad, okay, then that's the headlines will be that. Okay, it's not going to be that you were trying to do something meaningful, research based, or you're doing a survey, or you're doing some sort of scientific experiment, no, whatever. No, they will just look at it and say, anime fan gets arrested, or anime fan gets banned off of YouTube because of this, or anime fan causes DCMA on Twitch or something like that, or whatever. Okay, they don't look at what you were doing when they just say, okay, yeah, there's another stupid anime fan, man, he's making the anime look bad, or wow, why is all this sexist stuff happening on with anime? Can't they just make normal animes without all the sexy stuff? Yeah, well, okay, because you are feeding the machine, you're making the actual you're building on the trope itself, like anime is bad, anime is bad, because you're feeding that. And it said, whatever you do, that's why you have to have respect that title that you do with anime, is the fact that you now also represent the anime fans. Whether you want to or not, you are doing that. And that's what people will perceive, especially people on the outside, will perceive of you. Okay? And that's why many people think, why anime isn't growing as a genre into the mainstream and that kind of stuff, because we got all these people that are just making total fools of themselves and basically ruining it for the actual, anime community. And that's sort of what's sort of happening, right? It's just this, all this extra media attention, the social networking of this, and this whole entire me generation. Just look at me, look what I can do. And it's just not about just you. It's what everyone else looks at and then says, wow, look at that guy, dressed up in an anime uniform throwing snowballs at Santa Claus, for example. I'll just capitalize this with just one more sort of thing, and then this is a more example, and it's sort of a personal example. When you talk about Vancouver, which we live in, and people talk about hockey games and playoffs, the first thing that comes to mind from anyone outside of Vancouver is, oh, the Vancouver riots over not winning the Stanley Cup. Not only did it happen once, it happened twice. So obviously, the conclusion, obviously, from anyone else outside of Vancouver is, oh, those Vancouver, hockey fans are absolute, crazy nuts, and they're all a bunch of troublemakers. As soon as they lose, they're going to cause a riot. Okay, and being here and knowing what the what the story encapsulated, actually being being in jury duty, okay, during some of the stuff as it happens, and during some of the sentencing and that kind of stuff with that, I know what happened and who happened and whatever happened. But you see, the outside people outside of Vancouver don't want to know that. Okay, they read the headlines. Vancouver loses. Vancouver Canucks loses the playoffs. Riot in Vancouver starts. Begin the riots. Okay, and that's all the people outside of Vancouver see. And that's not, that's it. That's farthest away from the truth. But because of a bunch of meatheads, and because of, this gang mentality, right? Mob mentality. That is what paints all of the Vancouver Vancouver, sports fans as a bunch of meatheads, a bunch of rioters, a bunch of, radicals. Okay, and it's just, I said, literally is, could be probably, boiled down to a handful of people in one little spot here and there. Second time around was obviously a bunch of troublemakers. A lot of them not even from Vancouver. Okay, like they're from the burbs and stuff, right? So, that now paints Vancouver as in a bad light, and that's exactly what's sort of happening with anime fans. It's not everybody. I'm sure a lot of people just watch their anime, they enjoy it, and they say, okay, yeah, I like this anime. It was well drawn, good story. It moved me. I got I was emotionally attached or moved or whatever by the video, and I enjoyed it. I was entertained. Okay, and once they're done with that, then they move on to their next normal daily jobs, and they go on to the next video, and they proceed with their life in a normal way. And that's how they live. And there's a lot of people, the 80, 90, 95% of the people out there, that's what they do. And that's great. It's these 5-10% of the people who, do radical things and do, do things that, shall we say, may not be painting a really good representative picture of what anime fans are. But because these people are just blasting social media with this stuff, and they're trying to say, hey, look at me, do all this stuff and whatever, those are the people that are getting out to the public that is not, into the anime circles and that kind of stuff. And that's what they see out there. And they start thinking, well, I guess all anime people are like these weirdos. Or, all anime people are radicals like this. Or all, anime girls are all like slutties and likes to draw, like have these weird fantasies and that kind of stuff with stuff. And I'd have to argue that that's farthest from the truth, but that's what the perception is outside, and that's why these people that are doing this are basically painting anime fans in a bad light, and that's why, again, so much hatred is going out towards anime and specifically anime fans, and that's I don't want to loop all the fans into one. It's these radicals that and it's just important to know that when you do things for anime or cosplaying or whatever, please be respectful, because other people are watching, and those people are looking at you. Okay, but I said you got to be responsible for what you do, because you're now representing, you're being our ambassador for anime. Okay, and if you don't want anime to be perceived in the fashion that you are trying to represent it in, then you should be a little more cautious about what you do and how you proceed. All right, not saying that you can't do what you want to do, but just be knowledgeable that every action does have a consequence. All right, so hope you found this really interesting. And again, if you haven't done so, I hope I've earned your subscription. Go down below, click subscribe, and don't forget to hit notify, because again, I'm going to be doing more different type of episodes, because some people said that my content needs to be a little more modern, or at least have the connection with modern animes and that kind of stuff. So I'll try to get a few more of these sort of opinions and sort of link the two together. Okay, so until next time. See you again.